Ladies and gentlemen, Eagles fans around the world, welcome back to the Dougie John Senior Spotlight Show. And John, this week we've got to start off with that shocking performance up by the football team. They were left for dead after that loss to Macomb a couple weeks ago and not taking home the BBC title. But man, they came out fighting. They dominated a very good Archbold team, 63-35.
Yeah, that's one when you're looking on your phone, you keep hitting refresh because you're pretty sure it can't be what it says it is. Cam Garlock was unbelievable. 6 touchdowns. He tied his single-season record, which is the record he had set versus Corey Rawson. Some records are not the same. 6 against Archibald, a lot different than 6 against Corey Rawson. So congratulations to Cam. He also broke the single-season touchdown record of 30 that was held by Aaron Kraft. He now has 32 on the season. His favorite target this week, Seth Alker, 3 of those touchdowns, and I think over 180 yards receiving. Awesome performance by the offense, and really pretty good against the defense, against an offense on Archibald's side that we thought would give us more trouble. So congratulations to the boys.
Yep, absolutely. We hit on a couple dynamic dudes from the broadcast on Friday night with Seth Elkert and Cam Garlock. Let's talk about cross country. The boys, they finished second at the regional as a team. They're headed to state. This is the first time since 2000 that the team has made it to the state race.
Well, you know, we're all about bragging rights here in high school sports, and I think it's always one of the neat dynamics when you have siblings that have played the same sport. So the Ricker brothers here, Matt now will be able to brag over older brother John as Matt qualified for the state race. John never made that accomplishment, but I'm sure the whole Ricker family and the rest of the program is excited about getting one more step closer towards states. And listen, this is an expectation that we had for this team, right? They came in here. We knew they were strong. Great performance by those boys.
Yep, absolutely. Unfortunately, on the girls' side, their season ended. We knew it was going to be a tough regional. They came out, we talked about it last week, 5th in the district, then moving on to the regional race. Unfortunately, a little bit short as they came in 7th as a team.
They got really hot at the end of the year. They had some great wins. They got the BVC title. We're going to have Haley Host-Stetler and Kenzie Smaltz from the team on the Senior Spotlight to get their perspective on what was a really good season. But congratulations to the whole team, especially Riley Irwin, who was another senior on that team.
Yep, you got it. This week, the girls' soccer team beat Elida handily early in the week at Elida, but then lost a heartbreaker to St. Mary's in the district final on Saturday. They went up 2-0. I was actually at the game. They just could not keep St. Mary's out of the goal. Things went to double overtime. No team scored in both of those overtime sessions. They had to go to penalty kicks, and really right before they went into penalty kicks, man, both teams just exhausted, had laid things on the line. Unfortunately for us, the LB girls came up just short, losing that shootout 4-3. That ends their season.
You know, great effort by the girls. And look, like you said, they laid it all on the line. That's all you can ask from these high school athletes. These games are really intense. They're really hard. And great effort to keep St. Mary's to 0 and build that lead at 2-0. But then, of course, St. Mary's got a little hot, got the goals, pushed it into overtime. I have to say, and I understand that you can't play forever, but shootouts are such a hard way to lose a match. So congratulations to the girls, specifically to the seniors, Hannah Hiss, Emily Kaltenbach, Caitlin Ike, and Kylie Recker. You know, great school careers individually, but also great leadership for the team overall.
Yep. Volleyball team, on a positive note to wrap up last week's results, they stayed hot. They had a straight set win over Lima Shawnee, and a slightly tougher test against St. Mary's. Interestingly enough, they played St. Mary's and so did soccer. But ultimately, they got the district title as they won 3-1 in that victory.
Yeah, you know, things get a lot tougher, and we're going to go into kind of what's up next for the girls volleyball team. But, you know, this is what happens with a team at this level. They came out a little bit flat in the third set. They couldn't dig out of the hole, so they had to go to a fourth set. This is one thing that I think you're going to see them really focus on, continuous and consistent effort through the game. And as long as they have that, I think they can go as far as they want. They're a great team.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll talk about next week, like you said, this upcoming week in the next segment. So it's time to turn to the weekly poll. The weekly poll, again, is sponsored by Gillig's Winery. Trevor and Nikki Gillig, obviously very successful community members and great supporters of this program, as well as LB Athletics in general. And so since it's Halloween season, we want to know what everybody's favorite Halloween treat is. If we asked you about candies, that would be an endless amount of polls. We only have room for 4 opportunities here. So we're going to talk about treats and maybe unique treats. So the options are A, caramel apples, B, popcorn balls, C, candy corn, or D, Rice Krispie treats. So again, what's your favorite Halloween treat? Also, it's time to talk about the Senior Spotlight. We have 5 guests this week. Haley Hostetler and Kenzie Smaltz from the cross-country team, Emma Kern from the cheer squad, and then we brought back the Garlock brothers, Cam and Link, from the football team to talk about that shock-the-world victory versus Archbold last week. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the Dougie John Senior Spotlight Show, we're joined by 5 seniors, 3 ladies new to the show, and 2 repeat visitors tonight. Our first guest from cross country, Miss Haley Hostetler. Haley, welcome to the show. If you wouldn't mind, please share your parents' names with everybody.
My parents' names are Amy and Tim Hostetler.
Amy and Tim, fantastic. How about other sports and extracurriculars that you participate in?
I also participate in track, National Honor Society, Student Council, Habitudes, and a landscaping business.
Oh, wow, fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about track. Obviously a distance runner in cross country. What events do you run in the track team?
I run the 800 and the 2 mile and sometimes the mile.
Oh, wow. All right. Sticking with that distance. Fantastic. Talk a little bit about the landscaping company. What's the landscaping company that you work for?
So it's self-owned, and my dad started it and passed it on to me. So.
Wow. All right. So what does that all entail? Does that entail like lawn mowing or
lawn mowing,
putting down mulch? What does it all entail?
Mostly lawn mowing, lawn care.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any employees?
No.
No.
I do not.
So you're self-employed and a company of 1?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. All right, fantastic. Well, good for you. So that'll lead into this next question here. What's any plans after high school?
I plan to attend BGSU to study pre-med.
Pre-med, all right. So we're not going to stick with landscaping for the long term. All right. Well, Bowling Green, that's a fantastic location. Any plans on where you might go for medical school after BG?
I do not have those plans yet.
Okay. Have you had a chance to apply at Bowling Green?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, all right. Good for you. Well, always excited to hear about those folks applying for the Falcons, and hopefully you see next year at our tailgate that we have every year. How about sharing with everybody your favorite cross-country memory?
My favorite cross-country memories were made at cross-country camp. We get really close to the team there, and I've made some great friendships through cross-country. Yeah,
that is great. The camp that you all head to, I know that as we do the Quizno Wagner Legacy, a lot of folks bring up the memories of going to that camp, and some of the funding actually will be used to support that going in the future because it's been such a great tradition. How about sharing with everybody any pre-race rituals that you might have?
So we all circle up and have a team prayer and then a team chant before each race.
Yeah, okay, all right. I remember Riley talking about that as well. That's fantastic. Let's talk about you personally a little bit in your team. Battled through a lot of injuries over the last couple of years. Maybe share what that experience was like and how you feel right now.
So my junior year, I suffered 3 stress fractures, and that has continued to affect me into this season and also last track season. So I missed out on 2 meets this year, but I was able to compete the rest of the season. Yeah,
so talk about that. I mean, obviously battled through some injuries. That's fantastic. Not to be hurt, but to be able to battle through it and overcome that. Talk about how excited you were when the team was able to win the BBC title this year.
That was very exciting and a good way to just have a good race for the senior year.
Yeah, that was at Macomb, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great race there. Obviously, a great effort there. So battled through some injuries, overcame those, able to participate on the team. I think you're running like the number 2 or number 3 spot on the team every race. Well, that's impressive. And hopefully that health carries over as you go into the spring track season. Congratulations on a great senior year. Best wishes. The rest of your senior year, obviously cross country, unfortunately, is over, but we certainly wish you the best going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for Haley Hostetler? Ladies and gentlemen, our second guest tonight on the Dougie John Senior Spotlight from the cross country team, Kenzie Smaltz. Kenzie, welcome to the show. If you wouldn't mind, please share your parents' names with everybody.
My parents' names are Trisha and Rick Smaltz.
Trisha and Rick, great. How about other extracurriculars and sports that you participate in?
I participate in National Honor Society.
All right, fantastic. We talked about this a little bit earlier on the cross country team, but that does not carry over to track.
No.
Talk about what maybe, as maybe a one-sport athlete, what draws you to stick with cross country and participate in that? What brings you to that spot?
I've just always loved running on my own. I know it sounds crazy, but I've just always enjoyed it. My sister was in cross country, and it just motivated me to continue with it.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you talk about your sister. We'll talk about your PR here in a little bit. Who had the better time, better PR?
I did.
You did, all right. Yeah, they got the bragging rights. Fantastic. Let's talk about your plans after high school.
I plan to attend University of Findlay for veterinarian.
Okay, fantastic. Obviously, Findlay's nearby. You've probably been on campus multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Have you had a chance to get your application in yet?
Yes, I did apply.
Yeah, all right. You're ahead of the game. Fantastic. How about sharing with everybody your favorite cross-country memory?
My favorite memory is probably cross country camp. It's just a good way to like bond with everyone and all come together as a team. It's just really fun.
Yeah, like we said earlier with Haley, just a great tradition, something that everybody looks forward to and reflects on fondly, just like you have. How about any pre-race rituals that you have?
We always warm up as a team, stretch as a team. We say a prayer, and I don't really have any like superstitions, but like I always try to like wear the same thing, like do my hair the same, and like all that stuff. So.
Yeah, all right. Got a lot of good traditions there. Fantastic. Last 2 questions left. We talked about this with Haley. How excited were you to be a part of the team that captured the BBC title this year?
I was very excited. It was just good seeing the team happy, and it was just a really fun time and a good memory.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly something that shouldn't be taken for granted, and you guys performed very well. I think the last thing I want to talk about with you is talk about performing well. Let's talk about your PR. What was your PR, and when did you accomplish that?
My PR is 21:39, and I accomplished it this year at the regional meet.
At regional meet. Fantastic. So your last race as a senior, going with the PR, give your very best effort. That's fantastic. What an accomplishment for you. And do you have visions of trying to beat that in the future just on your own? You said you like to run personally.
Yeah, it's been like a thought of mine. I'll try to stick with it as like long as I can.
Yeah, participate in some 5Ks and stuff like that. Yeah, you do the turkey trot or anything like that they have here in Findlay?
No, I have not done that yet.
Not yet? All right. Well, I know there's a lot of great 5Ks out there, and your love of running, I'm sure you'll continue to do that. Congratulations on a great senior season. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. The girls fall a little bit short there, finishing 7th in the regional, but a great effort this year. Congrats on the BBC title. Best wishes the rest of your senior season as you head off to University of Findlay. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for Kenzie Smoltz? Hi, folks. Our third guest tonight on the Dougie John Senior Spotlight Show from the cheer squad, Emma Kern. Emma, welcome to the show. If you wouldn't mind, share your parents' names with everybody.
My parents are Eric and Tiffany Kern.
Eric and Tiffany. How about other extracurriculars or sports that you participate in?
So I'm not in any other sports, but I am in NHS Student Council, and I actually am senior class vice president.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Go ahead. You were going to say something else. I cut you off.
I also have 2 jobs.
You do?
Yes.
All right. Where do you work?
I work at Duncan, and I also work at the Heritage Nursing Home.
Wow. Good for you. All right. Well, we'll see where this takes us here. What are your plans after high school?
I plan to attend Owens Community College and get my bachelor's in the science of nursing.
All right. Fantastic. So taking that job to the next level here and carrying that on. Great. Awesome. Good for you. So if you wouldn't mind, share with everybody your favorite cheer memory.
I hate to say it, but camp. It was very, very stressful. A lot of tears were shed, mainly by me, but it was definitely a very good time to come together and bond.
Yeah, well, that's been shared a lot, that the camp was a great experience. Yes. And I guess even though a little pain and a little gain there, so as you shed some tears like you said. How about any pregame rituals that you have?
Me and my friends, we always either get Chick-fil-A or Chipotle as we're getting ready, and then we go to Bell Stores and get energy drinks before the games.
All right. That's my kind of diet. Yeah, yes. Chick-fil-A and energy drinks. Fantastic. Speaking of energy, I'm curious, did you notice as we came into the playoffs last week and traveled up to Archbold, did you notice any extra energy in the stadium or on the field and in the game because there's a playoff atmosphere?
Definitely the players were in their right mind that game. I was surprised, happily surprised. I hope that we can carry it to this week's game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fantastic. Yeah, so it'll be a big game this week, a little bit less travel. Have you minded some of the longer bus rides, or who's your bus mate to keep things going?
My bus partner is Alexis Grilliot. She's like my sister.
Yeah.
We just get along so well, and we always have a good time together.
Yeah, pass that time fast on those long trips. Wow, fantastic. Well, congratulations on a great senior year. Good luck with all those jobs that you've got and the extracurriculars, and going into a great field for nursing. So hopefully we don't want to cross you too often in the nursing field, but we'll know we'll be in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for Emma Kern? All right, folks, our fourth guest tonight is a repeat from the football team, the number 7, the quarterback, Cam Garlock. Cam, welcome to the show. Obviously, we know all your background in terms of family and extracurriculars and stuff like that. We met you earlier in the season. I want to talk about last week's game, a big game. You know, I talked to your dad and Coach Garlock earlier in the week and talked about shocking the world, and I think you guys did that. It was a heck of a game, and you had a great effort there. To me, it seemed like everything just kind of fell into place. Did you guys see opportunities on tape for what you were able to accomplish in the game versus Archbold?
Yeah, there were definitely holes in their defense, and I mean, we knew we were going to have to make plays, and when your number was called, you're just going to have to make that play. Yeah,
it's great, and a lot of receivers making those plays as you threw great balls into those holes, like you said, where the defense wasn't, and your receivers executed perfectly. I mean, couldn't be more happy. A bunch of weapons out there. Seemed like you spread the ball around a lot. Anything that you saw after the game on tape that you wish you would have done different, or things to improve on going into this week?
I mean, not really. We just have to stay focused and keep playing our game.
Yeah, play very hard. Well, when you score 63 points and score 9 touchdowns, there's not much else that should be going wrong there. I want to talk about Macomb. Obviously, a bad taste in everybody's mouth. They came out and punched us in the mouth. They took the BBC title. I know you guys talked about being disappointed about that. How excited or how maybe relieved were you to get this win and kind of get that bad taste out of your mouth?
Yeah, that was definitely a bad taste in our mouth. BBC was one of our goals, and we just couldn't hang our heads for too long because we knew we still had goals to accomplish later on in the year. Right,
absolutely, and obviously you guys turned that around, like we said, putting up 63 points against a really good Archbold team. Talk about tape, again, seeing opportunities for Archbold. What do you guys see as challenges or opportunities as we take on Liberty Center?
Yeah, I mean, Liberty Center is a really solid team. I think we're just going to have to play one of our best games all around, offensive line, defense, receivers got to catch the ball. I got to make some good decisions too.
Yeah, gotcha. Everybody seemed to be focused here. I mean, it's only been a couple days worth of practice as we turn our focus to Liberty Center, but everybody seemed in a good frame of mind.
Yep, I think we're all in a good state of mind, stay focused, just relaxed.
Yeah, awesome. All right, ready to play. You guys are playing your best football last week. Hopefully that continues going forward. Speaking of playing your best football, you tied the single game record, which was yours before, 6 touchdowns in the game. Obviously a much better opponent, Archbold, compared to Corey Roston. But I believe that you also broke Aaron Kraft's single season touchdown record. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? You don't even know. All right, so that's what I was going to say. Have you had much time? This answer is fairly obvious, so I'm going to ask it anyways. Have you had much time to sit down and reflect on some of the accomplishments you've had this year and some of the records?
I'm not really looking at that right now. I'm still focused on the week ahead.
Yeah, focused on Liberty Center.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, you've had a great career at Liberty Benton in football. Obviously, you got a couple more sports coming up, but very focused on Liberty Center as we make that trip. You know, they're a number 1 seed, but I think in our research, it looks like they only beat Archbold 16-0.
Yep.
So we would think that we've got a really good shot, right? Like you said, just play our best football coming up. So, well, hey, like I said, great job this year, great season, great career. Thanks for being on the show. We don't have any fancy titles like the the Dynamic Dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So I saw you got those awards. That's awesome. We'll see if we can come up with a trophy. But I think $10 gift card at Dougie John's is also pretty good.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah. So all right. Well, hey, thanks a lot. Best wishes on the game this Friday. We'll talk to you soon, ladies and gentlemen. How about a big hand for Cam Garlock? Ladies and gentlemen, our 5th and final guest tonight on the Dougie John Senior Spotlight Show from the football team, wide receiver, defensive back, number 4, Link Garlock. Link, welcome to the show. Obviously, like I talked about with your brother Cam, we know all the background stuff in sports and other things there. So just want to talk a little bit about the last couple weeks here. Obviously, last week versus Archbold, a great team win, a gutsy performance by you. How excited were you to get that win against Archbold?
It was very exciting. First round of the playoffs, you just want to move on each week.
Yeah, absolutely. We packed on a ton of points there. I talk about the gutsy performance. I think most people know you've missed a little bit of time here in the last couple of weeks, been pretty banged up, been focusing most of your time, I think, at wide receiver, not as much on the DB side. I'm just curious, with the injury, things getting a little bit better, staying about the same? Where are you at there?
Yeah, like the first 2 weeks, it was getting unbelievably better. Seen a lot of progress. Now it's just been staying the same.
Yeah.
It's enough to deal with, though. So.
I got you. Yep. What does the pain level look like on a Friday night for you? Is it pretty high?
On Friday night, you can't really feel it. Just during practice, not enough adrenaline, and Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, well, I know last week I was fortunate enough to be on the sidelines, and you came off kind of limping there for a little bit. I know that everybody on the coaching staff was extremely concerned, as were we, but that turned out to just be a cramp again, and nothing too bad on the ankle. So good to hear that. Speaking of last week, you completed a pass. Was that your first pass?
No, that was my second one. I had one last year. It was an interception.
All right, so we went to
50%.
50%. All right, one to them, one to us. Very good. All right, well, the coach has had enough confidence to give you a shot at it. I know we don't want to maybe divulge too much. I don't know if many Liberty Center folks tune into our broadcast. Any trick plays maybe up the sleeve? Have we been working on anything for this week?
Not really. Not this week.
Just going standard and just try to out-tough Liberty Center.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Well, speaking of tough, I think after the Macomb game, a lot of folks in the community, and I'm sure probably even in your guys' program in the locker room, were maybe questioning the toughness of this team. Macomb, like we said, just kind of came out and punched us in the mouth, and we could not recover. You're certainly a quiet guy, a humble guy. Don't like to talk too much about yourself, and would rather joke about throwing that interception as opposed to being proud about the completion. I'm curious, though, you've been battling through the injuries that we talked about. That toughness that you're demonstrating, do you think that carries over to the younger guys, or are you just not really worried about that and just focused on playing another game as a senior on the football team?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think you need to demonstrate for the younger guys so they look up to you and know what to do when they're seniors, or right now a lot of freshmen are helping us. And you just want to keep playing football. It's my senior year. You just want to go as far as you can.
Absolutely. Well, you've certainly demonstrated that toughness. I'm sure that we'll see that carry forward in the years to come, and you guys have set, like we said, a great humble tradition. John and I talk about it a lot. Not only the football team and you guys, but all the sports here at Liberty Benton. A lot of team focused, not very many I's, obviously no I in team, and you guys do a great job of that. So congratulations, first and foremost, on that, just your leadership on the football team, but obviously the success that you've had in your career on the football team and all the sports here at Liberty Benton. So congrats on that thus far. Best wishes going forward. Obviously, everybody very focused on Liberty Center this Friday. Yep. Hopefully we can bring home another victory, keep advancing into playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big hand for Link Garlock?
And welcome back to the Dougie John Senior Spotlight. We want to thank all the Senior Spotlight athletes this week. Really special thanks to the Garlock brothers for taking time out of game planning for Liberty Center to join us for a second time, and good luck to them this week. We are going to do our trivia contest. This year's trivia contest is sponsored by Immeasurably More Custom Designs by Ann Rader. Ann is a Liberty Benton community member, and please visit her Facebook site at Immeasurably More CD, which stands for Customs Designs, to see all the great products that she has. This week's question is, who is the season leader in receptions for the Liberty Benton football team all time? So, again, it'll be in the YouTube comments. Please go out there and answer that question. I'm sure Jeremy Recker will provide you with the answer, and just follow it up, and you will be entered into the contest. Going into this week's contest in sports, this is the state race for boys cross country. They're going to run Saturday 1 o'clock at Fortress Obitz outside of Columbus. They depart the school Friday at 10 a.m. There will be an in-school rally for the team Wednesday at 2:30 in the gym.
Yeah, and this is the first time ever for the team running D2 state, first time moving up into the D2 and qualifying for state, so that's exciting. And then also in terms of just getting to state, we talked about it earlier, first time since 2000. So very tough competition, obviously at the Division II level. When you move up that division, it gets a little bit more competitive. As we do some research here based on times, looks like the boys have their work cut out for them in order to hit the podium. But they've had a great year. We expect them to be at their very best on Saturday. Yeah,
best of luck to them. In terms of times, look, they run for 10 miles in a row. So, no, really proud of the boys, and hopefully one of them can hit the podium in the state race. Looking at volleyball, volleyball plays their first match of the regional. That'll be Thursday, 6 o'clock versus Gilmore Academy. Should they, and when they win, they will play the winner of Vermilion and Columbus Bishop Hartley Saturday at 2 p.m. All of these matches are going to be at the Galleon High School, so if you can get out there, please get out there and support them.
Yep, certainly a further trip than Bluffton, but the intensity level is going to be up, and would encourage folks to go there. Girls played great last week against St. Mary's and Lima Shawnee. Interestingly enough, John, in terms of the Galleon Regional, Region 7, certainly some extremely tough competition. We've talked about it all year, how the volleyball program is moving up to D2. I saw some social media posts, actually from some folks from Vermilion, noting how tough the competition is just in this region, Region 7. So Gilmore Academy, that's who we play on Thursday. They won state Division II last year. Obviously, Liberty Benton, we won state last year, Division III. And then the Bishop Hartley team, they don't want to be left out of the fun. They finished the regular season ranked first in Division II. So that region is loaded. Certainly expect that winner of that region to be the odds-on favorite to take the state title.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I think Julie Todd has just done such a great job getting these girls motivated for these big matches, and that is a murderer's row in Region 7. So hopefully we can pull 1-2 wins out and continue to move forward. Finally, the football team, after, I don't want to use the word shocking because I think Coach Garlock just put the right pieces together at the right time. But after their shocking win at Archibald, they go to Liberty Center Friday night. They're going to take on the Tigers. The Tigers are the #1 seed in the region.
Yep, they're certainly a force to be reckoned with. They've got a very strong interior offensive and defensive line, is the scouting report. Interestingly enough, I talked to the chain gang guy at Archibald. Those are guys that see all the action every single week. He indicated to me that Liberty Center just kicked their butt earlier in the year. However, when you look at the scores, it was just 16-0. So even though they may have gotten beat up and down the field, they didn't run away from Archibald early in the year, and I think that bodes well for the Eagles. Certainly expect the coaches to find some weak spots. We talked about that with Cam, what they found against Archibald. They were able to exploit it and execute it. And maybe we'll get a little bit of help from that Port Clinton staff who took on Liberty Center last week, and we've got some folks that are ex-LB staff there working in Port Clinton. So hopefully we get some tips from them, pull out another playoff victory here on the football team.
Well, we certainly want the fans to get out there and support this team. And one thing that I'll point out against those scores, 16-0 against Archibald, Liberty Center had a lot of those games where they had low-scoring wins. That defense and that defensive line is going to be really a challenge for Cam, as he talked about the senior spotlight. Looking forward to much success from him. If he can have success, I think we have a real good chance to win this game.
That's a good point. The game's a little bit closer than Archibald. And, the game is going to be close. Like you said, that's what we expect. So, if we can get enough fans out there, maybe that'll be the thing that puts the Eagles over the hump this week. So, again, encourage you to get out to Liberty Center this Friday night to support the football team. And, of course, volleyball and cross country if you're able to make those as well. As we close out this episode, Dougie John's Senior Spotlight, on behalf of our executive producer, John Korn, our assistant producer, Ethan O'Donnell, absent today. This is my co-host, John O'Donnell. I'm Jason Brorman signing off. Thanks for joining us. And as always,
go Eagles!